Hello, this is Matthew Williams bringing a quick video to talk about Svengali, who did a video called the Milk Hill Crop Circle. This was brought into question by the channel which is dealing with this £100,000 alleged competition, which I'm very skeptical about that the money actually exists. And anyway, it was brought up by somebody that the galaxy formation, which is the big thing that they want everyone to recreate. It was brought up that this Svengali had said that 68 people would be required in order to make it. Sorry. I actually went and had a look at the video, and I think that Svengali is actually saying 11 people. He starts off by saying, you know, what would 2 people take, 3, let's say 5, well, let's even say 11, he says. Anyway, let's forget that because they, I don't think they're getting their details right on that. But what I'd like to draw people's attention to, there's a couple of things in the video which I think people need to understand aren't really how it works with crop circles. Firstly, and this is not me saying, by the way, I have to preface this and say this is not me saying that the galaxy formation is made by people, okay? And the reason I won't say that is because if I knew or didn't know anything about this formation and discussed it, then I would be, potentially upsetting whoever's formation it is. So there's a lot of formations out there that many circle makers will not reveal whether they know they're done by people or not. Now, I can't really tell you that this is a man-made formation, and I'm not saying that it's made by something else either. But what I am prepared to do, and I'm going to help you with here, is give you a few little helpful, useful tips in order to understand that this could be a man-made formation by some standards that I've been discussing on Circle Makers TV and on my YouTube channel. So anyone who's followed my YouTube channel will probably have seen me discussing this, but the Milk Hill formation has got man-made effects in it, like the underlying path which goes from each arc into the next arc. Now, I ask you, why would aliens need to use an underlying path? Most people seem to believe that these crop circles appear in one go. Going by the Oliver's Castle footage, they believe that these formations appear very quickly, and I don't agree with that. But then you've got the fact that this Svengali says that this is a mathematically perfect formation. I believe he says that because I'm just going from memory, having watched the video once. And he says mathematically perfect. It's not mathematically perfect. This formation has many differences in the sizes of the corresponding circles. If you take the large circle in one arc and you compare it to what should be the large circle in the next arc and the next arc and the next arc, say for instance, if we come here, if we're talking about here, then there, there are differences in the sizes. Also, there are differences in the fractalization, which some bits of fractal are not lining up in the same way as corresponding bits in other parts. So for this to be mathematically perfect, there would have to be a mathematical formula that this galaxy corresponded to, which means that all these weird, what I would call mistakes or tolerance errors, that would add up to mean that it was part of a formula, a mathematical formula. Now, Svengali doesn't tell us what this formula is because it doesn't exist. Svengali is making that up, sadly. There is no mathematical formula that this crop circle conforms to that I have been made aware of. and anybody else has mentioned to me. And I don't think there's anyone in the crop circle research world who said, aha, the galaxy, here's the formula, and it fits the galaxy perfectly. Doesn't exist. Okay, so Svengali is, spieling that one out there. Okay, he says that it would be impossible for people to make. It's just too hard. They would have been caught. Okay, it's a reasonable thing to say if you are not a circle maker. If you've never made them, never attempted to make them, it's a reasonable thing to say. I have discussed on my channel many times. Go over it quickly again. He says you have to start. You have to start when it gets dark, and you've only got 4 hours. Incorrect. Incorrect. It gets dark in the summer about 9:30. The sun is going down, which means it's twilightish. By 10 o'clock it's actually quite dark, and people entering fields could possibly be spotted, but not this field, for pretty good reasons I'll show you in a second. There's always the factor of it getting light in the morning, but I've explained to people in the past, and we'll reiterate again, that when it gets light in the morning, you've often got mists and fogs. So this means that you can work into the daylight sometimes. However, that doesn't apply in this location. I will explain why. And not just because people discuss that it was so allegedly raining when this formation appeared. We'll go into that in a little bit as well. So Svengali says that this formation would be impossible to create with a small team. Well, okay, I've actually stated in the past that I believe, my own opinion, that you would need about 19 people to create this formation. And that would fall within Svengali's calculations for how long it would take to make the formation. He says it would take 11 hours. What was it? 11 hours for 11 people or something like that. So it would only take 5 hours if you had 20 people, wouldn't it? It would take half the time. So he says you've got 4 hours to work in the middle of the night. I'm saying 5. So therefore, 1 extra hour, and you could do it. I think Svengali isn't taking his own calculations seriously when he, should be looking at the fact that this can be done. Finally, the real thing that people forget about this formation is in terms of whether or not they would be spotted early in the morning finishing. Factor in, like I said, possible fog effects, right? Fog effects, which I normally talk about. In this case, apparently, and I do underline apparently, right? Apparently, it was pissing down with rain. Apparently, okay? I wasn't there, so I can't say whether it was pissing down with rain or not. But what I do know is that the location of this formation, whether it was pissing down with rain or not, or whether it was foggy or not, would mean that you would find it very hard to find this formation. Okay? And think about that now, right? Think about that. It would be very hard to find this formation. I'm going to show you something, right? Google, right? Type into Google. Let's have a look. Google this, right? The words highest spot in Wiltshire. Okay? And it says, Google comes back and says, what is the highest point in Wiltshire? And it says the highest point in Wiltshire is the upper slope of Milk Hill in Stanton St Bernard parish. Well, Milk Hill is where the galaxy formation was created. So the highest point in Wiltshire, the whole of Wiltshire, the highest point is Milk Hill. So guess what? There's no farms higher than Milk Hill because it's the highest point. There's no houses up there on Milk Hill. It's the highest point. So all roads, all pathways, all farms, all houses, all villages, all towns, everything in Wiltshire is lower than Milk Hill. So Milk Hill is a flat surface and everything is lower. Let's have a look at this. Right? Google Earth. Right, just for reference, that's Stanton St Bernard. This here is where is it? No, sorry. This here is the barge in. Okay, if we move up here, you've got the White Horse. Okay, so I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it. That's the White Horse in Alton Barnes. This here is known as Adam's Grave, and over here is the famous skywatching hill, Knapp Hill. Okay, now this is the East Field where you get a lot of the formations, and over here you've got Milk Hill, which if you hold that, it actually says Milk Hill. So this little hill here is Milk Hill, and it's much better viewed when from the side. So I'll slide it down for you so you can see. Now, first thing I'll show you is Adam's Grave and Knapp Hill, and I'll do that for a reason. Okay. Now, this is Knapp Hill, as you can see, a hill there. Okay, and this is the car park where people used to do the sky watching. Okay, so some people would be up here, some people would be there, and they would watch the East Field because it's a lovely view down onto the East Field. So people are watching down into the East Field. Okay, guess what? Up here, next to the White Horse, we've got this lovely hill which is known as Adam's Grave. Okay, so if we come up here on Adam's Grave, okay, people can see down into the fields below. And it's very nice, you know. They can see down into the fields below, and they sort of sit up here on the top, on this escarpment here. There we are, and you can see the White Horse in the background. And they sit up here and they watch down into the fields. So those are the two big places that people sky watch. Okay, up here and on the other hill. Okay. Now guess what? If we move this down so we can see level with the top of the hill, guess what? Milk Hill, which is up here. Remember, this is Milk Hill. In the distance, there it is, Milk Hill again, right? Let's slide you back, okay? And here's one of the sky watching spots. Guess what? Milk Hill is the highest point in Wiltshire. It's higher than this point, okay? Milk Hill is higher. If we hold the cursor on it and we look down to the lower right, it tells us down here the height of things. See it, 215 meters, okay? If I hold the cursor on the top of Milk Hill, it says 288 meters. If I hold the cursor on the top of this sky watching spot called Adam's Grave, it says 245 meters. You see, it's lower than. Okay, if we come to the road that drives through, that's only 213 meters. If we go to the sky watching car park, right, that's 213 meters. If we go to the top of this hill over here, which is known as Knapp Hill, right, that is 242 meters on the top. You see, so 242. And if we come across to good old Milk Hill, which is above the White Horse, Milk Hill is 289 meters. Let's have a look at it again. Milk Hill, see it? 291 meters it goes up to in the actual field. There we are. In the field itself, 291 meters. Google, you know, doesn't always get it right, but basically, nobody can see into the field. Nobody can see into the field because everyone is lower than the field. And if it was raining on the night, I'm saying, if it was raining on the night that this was created, yeah, then nobody would want to be walking up into a field in the middle of nowhere, right, when visibility is reduced, right? No aircraft are going to be able to fly it, so there's not going to be any crop circle researchers out looking because you're not going to fly in the rain unless you've got a very good reason to do so, and most people do not fly for crop circle flights in the rain. Okay, so the highest point in Wiltshire, you think the farmer's going to catch you? Guess what? You've got a view down the road the farmer comes up. You've got a view down the hill the farmer could walk up. You've got a view down the hill all the way to Avebury and Silbury Hill. Yes? All the way in the distance, yeah? You've got the vantage point, the flat plateau vantage point on the highest point in Wiltshire. You can look down from all sides and see if anyone's coming. You can see if anyone's coming from, let's have a look. You can see if they're walking from the White Horse. There we are. You can see if they're walking from the White Horse up. You can see if they're walking from the sky watching on Adam's Grave. You can see if they're coming that way. You can see if anybody's walking from the road up. You can see if anybody's walking. See, I'll take you on a little thing now. If you're sitting here and there's Silbury Hill, can you see it in the distance? That's Silbury. Let's bring it up. There's Silbury Hill. You're looking down on Silbury Hill. There's Avebury, right? There's Avebury. You're looking down on Avebury. So let's put ourselves on top of good old Milk Hill, right? Here we are, right? Let's bring ourselves down in level, right? There we go, right? Yeah, let's do it. Bring ourselves down, right? Bring ourselves right down, right? There we are. We're in the field now, and if we come to the edge of the field, right, where it starts to slope off, right? From here, we are able to see from the top of the field. Look, we can see Silbury. Can you see Silbury? There we are. There's Silbury. Can you see it? Right, let's do it again so you can spot it again. I'll give you one more chance. Right, there's the field. Right, right, here we go. Right, there you go. See, in the field you can see Silbury. So you're looking down on top of Silbury Hill. You can see to the north, down on everything. You can see to the west, down on everything. You can see to the east, down on everything. And you can see to the south, down on top of everything. So if you've got people watching the field whilst you made the circle, you're going to know if somebody's coming or not. So guess what? You could, in the rain, if you wish to, you could continue to make this circle in the rain and spot any farmers, spot any walkers. You won't spot any aircraft because they won't fly over it. Not crop circle aircraft, yeah, with researchers in. So guess what? Nobody is going to see you doing this, even into the daylight. Now, please bear in mind, I am not stating that this is how this formation was made, but I'm just telling you that there are so many variables here which have not been taken into consideration just on a hypothetical point of view. Yeah? There are so many variables about how this could be made, and people are making assumptions which, to me, they haven't even been to this spot. They haven't even been there and know where it is and know its height and factors like that before they go making statements on YouTube videos like Svengali. I'm sorry, when he says that they would simply be caught, I think this is probably one of the best locations in Wiltshire to not be caught. Duh. So I think I rest my case. Anyway, I do think circle makers are probably the best people to not only ask about how to do these things, but might even give you clues as to where you're going wrong. And the crop circle researchers clearly have not picked up on these things. I am going to restate, and I'll state this now, so if you want to have an exciting little time, that Francine Blake knows something about the galaxy formation. She found something about the galaxy formation which she kept secret. Okay, now I know, because I was told by somebody, that Francine Blake holds something to do with the galaxy formation secret. Right, now she won't tell anybody. I think she's waiting for somebody to tell her. Okay, but she knows something about the galaxy formation which she has not made public. Okay, so if anybody wants to ask Francine Blake what that is, you might learn something, because she knows something about this, and I don't think it's my place to go discussing what Francine's findings about this formation are. But if she had information relating to this being a man-made formation and withheld that from the public, I think that would be a very interesting thing. But she, by obscuring what she found to do with this formation, by not talking about it, by just sweeping it under the carpet, has possibly, hindered many people's research into this formation. But you'll have to take that up with Francine, because Francine's agenda about what she says and what she doesn't say to the public, whether or not it's true is another thing. Whether or not what she has in terms of information relating to this is true or not is another matter. But the fact is, she does have it. And she's never told anybody. And I wonder why that is. So just food for thought. So yeah, Francine definitely needs to be asked some questions about this formation. I think she knows something she's not telling people. There we go. Thanks very much for watching.